and get on with the first story. So, you've listened to the show long enough. Maybe you're a first listener. Thanks for listening to Dead Rabbit Radio. And you guys know I mispronounce stuff. This story involves a tree, and I'm probably going to mispronounce it too. It is called the Manchineel Tree? The Manicheel Tree? Whatever it's called. It's creepy, and I never want to see one. So, okay. So, we'll call it the Manchineel Tree, because that's the easiest way to pronounce it. And I think that's actually the way you pronounce it. But the Manchineel Tree is a tree that's found in, like, the Caribbean. It's actually some in Florida, in South America, the northern part of South America. It is a tree that produces, like, fruit, like trees do. Delicious-looking fruit, apparently. So much so that they've had to put signs in near the trees. They'll have signs that say, "The leaves, bark, and fruits of these trees contain a caustic sap which may be injurious if touched. Columbus described the small green fruits as death apples. The trees are common along Caribbean shores. Avoid contact with any part of this tree!" Exclamation point. And when I say signs, I don't mean that there's like signs in the tourist lobby. These signs are nailed up outside, like right next to the tree. You're not supposed to go anywhere. The trees are super toxic to actually almost all living creatures. There's certain lizards that like hang out in them and eat the fruit, and they have no problem with it. But animals stay away from them. Humans are supposed to stay away from them. If you chop them down, the sap is toxic, can cause blisters. Eating the fruit can kill you. It'll definitely blister up your throat and cause severe burning and start to close up your esophagus. There's actually a researcher went to a beach and was like, "Oh, look, I would never just eat random fruit. I'd barely eat fruit at the store." So the fact of someone walking along the beach and going, "Hey, look at here's this thing I've never seen. Let's put it in our mouths." That's super bizarre. But anyway, so this researcher was there with, I think it was her friend, and they take these fruit and she gives it to her friend and says, "Hey, let's eat these." Weird enough. 15 minutes later, they're coughing and gagging. They poisoned themselves on this tree. Now, I know what you're thinking. This tree's so toxic, why do we allow them to grow? Like, why don't we chop them all down? Oh, and the other thing is, even being under the tree while it's raining can cause the liquid to come, like the tree chemicals to come off and land on you and start to burn you. Oh, and you're not supposed to burn them either because the smoke will also cause respiratory problems and skin problems and all that stuff. Super toxic. Super, super toxic. Now, so your question is, before I so rudely interrupted you earlier, Jason, if these trees are so dangerous, why do we keep them growing? Well, because they're actually supposedly like really good for the ecosystem, and they help like shore up, what's the stuff called? Erosion. Like they help prevent erosion on the beach. So they do serve a purpose. Just, stay away from them. The legend goes that the famed explorer, Ponce de Leon, was killed by one of these trees, not like it was an ant and chased them around, but that the indigenous people stuck their spears into the apple juice, I guess, or the sap, and then shot him with one, and if that arrow gets in you, then you start blistering from the inside out, and you look like you made a bad wish from a wishmaster, and you killed him. That's a legend, though. They don't know for sure if that's what happened. I just think it's interesting. There are actually a surprising amount of plants that kill people right on site. Not on site, but I mean, there's a good amount of just like poison that's around. As I was researching this story, I found out there used to be an issue with cow's milk being poisoned because back in olden times, and not like Assyrian olden times, but Abraham Lincoln's mom died because cows were eating this poisonous herb near where the cows were, and then they made their milk poisonous, and then the farmers would just sell the milk. Well, they didn't know it was poisonous, but they would just distribute the milk as normal, and his mom died from poisoned milk. And then eventually the farm, and this was a national problem. It wasn't just this one farm. Once the farmers realized what was going on, they had to start like destroying the weeds near the cows. But cows are stupid; they'll eat anything. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of poisonous plants out there. I think it's interesting because hot peppers are technically supposed to be not necessarily poisonous, but the capsaicin is supposed to be a defense mechanism. The pepper plants are like, dude, if I evolve, and then they like evolved capsaicin, and they're like, oh, dude, this is awesome. No one wants to eat me. I can freely just germinate. Nobody has to, I'm just shooting seeds out of me. I guess that's how plants work. And then they're like, I have the perfect defense mechanism. Who wants to eat spicy food? Dogs don't want to do it. Birds don't want to do it. And then we're like, eventually humans are like, oh, dude, this is spicy. I'm going to create a genocide. Like, I'm going to grow you just for the purpose of cutting you open when you get top spiciness. I'm actually going to breed you to be as spicy as possible. So that was a defense mechanism that actually made us eat them. Made us go, that you're more delicious than that, I don't know, Saint Germain root over there. I don't think that's real. But you get my point. It's a self-defense mechanism that actually encourages us to eat them. So sometimes it doesn't work. Manchineel Tree. Sometimes we may start finding you delicious. I won't, though, because you sound terrifying. Having lesions in my throat would be bad. Once I found out about butt herpes. You get a herpes sore in your butt. That sounds terrifying as well. Anything that has to do with your digestive system having open sores, no way, because you use it all the time. So one thing you use all the time, whether or not you're sick or healthy or bedridden or running up a mountain, you gotta eat and you gotta poop. So I don't want anything that has to do with either of those having open sores. I can have an open sore on my hand, I can have an open sore in my ear, but I don't want one in my esophagus. That was a clip from our daily podcast, Dead Rabbit Radio. Dead Rabbit Radio is available anywhere that you listen to podcasts. It's daily paranormal, conspiracy, and true crime news. If you want to hear the full episode that this clip came from, check the link below. Please like and subscribe. And hit that little bell, too. That does some magical stuff. Thanks, guys.